Hello everyone, this is the Bulgarian Stock Exchange earnings call for the third quarter of 2018. My name is Ivo Stankov and I shall briefly present to you a short market overview and the report of the exchange for the third quarter of 2018. Once you're familiar with our financial standing, Ivan Takev, the CEO of the Bulgarian Stock Exchange, shall present to you the progress of our ongoing projects and our plans for the future. I would like to remind you that there is a number on each slide. Feel free to ask questions during the presentation, mentioning the slide number they refer to. In the end, your questions shall be answered, if possible. If not, we'll obtain the necessary information and try to answer each question by email. You may ask the questions through the chat form. When you press the three-dot button, there is a second option to send a question. Moving on to the presentation. The third quarter of 2018 was less active than the first and second. Market capitalization increased by 4.25%, while the values of most indices of BSE dropped. Equity turnover decreased, and the Gradus IPO, which took place in the second quarter, did not create enough momentum for the market, but we're yet to see the effect of the secondary listing of the company shares. 36 issues were transferred from the main BSE market to the alternative base market. The equity trade formed the largest share of turnover in the third quarter, with a notable increase in the turnover of government bonds as a result of several large trades. We shall now move to the financial standing of Bulgarian Stock Exchange. With regard to revenue of the exchange, there was an increase of 54% where compared to the third quarter of 2017. That was the effect of an increase in finance revenue. Trading fees dropped by 37%, while information services fees increased by 18%. Finance revenue increased eightfold from 159,000 to 1.35 million levs, due to the one-off positive effect of a sale of government bonds held to maturity carried out in the beginning of 2018 and the dividend received by BSE from the 2017 profit distribution of the IBEX subsidiary. This led to the overall revenue growth. The comparison between the structure of revenue in Q3 2017 and Q3 2018 shows the share of each revenue item. Although at first things seem quite different, we have prepared another chart without the finance revenue to illustrate the fact that the share of each item remains relatively stable over time, considering what I just said about the decrease in trading fees. And here is the comparison between the structure of revenue in the two quarters with the finance revenue excluded. Moving on to the cost, the total cost grew by 6% where compared to the same period of 2017. Hired services expenses increased insignificantly. Materials and consumables grew by 65%, but that was an increase of only 9,000 levs, while personnel costs increased by 13%. Here is the chart of cost. The comparison between the cost in Q3 2017 and Q3 2018 shows a stable structure of cost. At the end of the reported third quarter of 2018, the net financial result achieved by Bulgarian Stock Exchange was positive to the amount of 917,000 less, which is mainly due to the growing finance revenue, a drop in operating revenue, as well as a minor increase in operating cost. The operating loss of Bulgarian Stock Exchange in Q3 2017 was 32,000 less, and in the current period, the operating loss amounted to 379,000 less. The net result of Bulgarian Stock Exchange is a profit of 0.15 levs per share. Moving on to assets and liabilities. The total assets of Bulgarian Stock Exchange at the end of the third quarter of 2018 were 1.7 million levs, or 16% higher than the value at the end of 2017. The major change in the company's assets is due to the acquisition of a subsidiary, Bulgarian Independent Energy Exchange. The purchase is reflected in the investments in subsidiaries item, which grew by 5.18 million levs. The first installment on the acquisition was financed by selling government securities held by the exchange, according to the decision adopted by the Extraordinary General Meeting of Shareholders of BSE held in 2017. The financial assets held to maturity decreased accordingly by 4.02 million levs, reflecting the sale. The remaining two installments on the purchase, due in February and August 2019, are deferred and are reflected in the current liabilities item in liabilities. Current assets increased significantly by 20%, or 580,000 levs, due to the growth in cash and cash equivalents by 579,000 levs, reflecting the positive result of the said government bond sale. Regarding liabilities, the value of retained profits at the end of 2017 was 169,000 levs, while its value at the end of the current quarter amounted to 934,000 levs. The profit accumulated at the end of the third quarter of 2018 is due to growing revenue from the current period. Current liabilities item increased by 226%, while the non-current liabilities decreased by 15%. The increase of the former was due to the remaining deferred payments on the IBEX acquisition. The installment due at the end of August 2018 was already paid, and the two remaining installments due at the end of February 2019 and August 2019 are presented as non-current liabilities. There are no major changes to the shareholder structure of Bulgarian Stock Exchange, and it remains stable over time. In Q3, a large trade accounted for the share transfer from brokerage firms and banks to other legal persons. The average Q3 price of the BSE's own shares was 5.994 levs per share. The price at the end of the quarter increased by 0.15 levs per share, or 2.54%, from 5.90 levs closing price on June 29th to 6.05 levs per share on September 28th. The minimum price per share was 5.35 levs, and the maximum price was 6.45 levs per share. A total of 213,518 shares were transferred in 125 trades. The total turnover in the quarter was 1,279,924 levs, which in comparison to the numbers in Q2, which were 80,476 shares transferred, 104 trades, and the total turnover of 46,526 levs, marked an increase in the turnover by 175%, volume growth by 165%, and an increase in the number of trades by 20%. The shares of BSE were traded in 36 out of 63 sessions during the reported period. And here is a quick summary of the data regarding the trade in BSE's own shares during the third quarter of 2018 that I just quoted. I shall now let Ivan Takev, CEO of the exchange, present to you the progress of our ongoing projects and our plans for the future. Ivan?
Thank you, Ivo. Hello, everyone. Over the course of the next 10 minutes, I will update you on what we at the Bulgarian Stock Exchange have been up to in the last quarter and what we will face in terms of development plans in the immediate future. Starting with the BSE International project. Basically, not too much happening during the last quarter. We have continued our dialogue with the settlement agent of our foreign market maker that will basically make the market in all international stocks and ETFs that we plan to list. We've been discussing the format of the settlement report that we have to deliver after the end of each trading day to the settlement agent, so they could instruct Clearstream Luxembourg, where settlement will take place between the market maker and the Bulgarian CSD. We've created the settlement report according to the format that was prescribed by the settlement agent, and it was acknowledged. In a few weeks' time, we received an additional requests in order to introduce a few more fields that were required for compliance purposes by the settlement agent. We added those fields and we sent that report, but it has still not been acknowledged by the market maker and the settlement agent. Basically, the project moves very slowly, and we are quite dissatisfied with the course of action. In the next few days, we will try to speed up the process, and depending on the project, depending on the outcome of that effort, we'll decide how to proceed with the project. If we are able to speed it up, we will proceed with testing of the settlement link between the Bulgarian CSD and the market maker with Clearstream Luxembourg. If not, then a decision will be taken by the BSE board. As another update, the market maker's EU passport is still not available, which will require some time if they remain in the project. But it will take some time in order to obtain that passport from the German and the Bulgarian National Competent Authority. When it comes to our other project, the so-called SME market, as a background information, we've already announced that it will be structured as a two-tier market. On one hand, it will allow for private placements of and offerings below 1 million euro, which is the threshold that has been put in our securities law in Bulgaria, and the second tier will be the so-called SME growth market, which was made more possible by MiFID II. We filed that application on May the 2nd this year, and we received a few rounds of comments by FSC and responded to each one of them. Actually, the last thing that we need to make clear was the last round of comments. FSC basically waited for quite some time for a guidance from ESMA on the eligibility of an MTF platform to have more than one market that are not SMEs growth markets under the same license, but basically ESMA came up with a positive answer to that question. So all of the SME markets and the Bulgarian international market will be able to operate under a single license. So the Bulgarian Stock Exchange will not be required to apply for a second authorization as an organizer of a multilateral trading facility. So what we need to do here is to respond to the last wave of questions that we received by FSC, and we plan to file our response within a few days. In the meantime, the previously announced SME supporting voucher program that was launched by the Bulgarian SME Promotion Authority went live, and as from October 17th, private companies that pursue IPOs could file for those vouchers with the SME Promotion Authority. If they're approved, they will be able to cover their costs of listings of up to 50,000 euro on a successful IPO, provided that they raise more than 500,000 euro. We've received a few inquiries about that voucher program, so we expect the first applicants to send their expectations in Q3 2018 and Q4. A bit more info on SCE Link. Basically, no other markets have applied or been approved as participating markets in the platform. Currently, there are 27 interbroker agreements, 8 originating brokers, and 7 executing brokers from Bulgaria are assigned to those. Fixed connection is being almost completed by one Bulgarian investment firm, and also one Bulgarian software vendor is finalizing its technical adaptation. So the software will be delivered to its clients, which means that at least 2 Bulgarian SE Link participants will be able to communicate with FIX in a STP way. We've already announced that Raiffeisen Bank International will step in as a settlement agent and will be able to cover not all, but some of the markets that are currently part of SE Link and provide settlement services. RBI Swift messaging system has already been sent to the participating depositories and the investment firms in some of the other markets part of the platform. It is still not clear when exactly those technical adaptations and the adoption of the Swift messaging system of RBI will be completed, but I guess that will take some time, at least 2 quarters. From the start of 2018 till end of September, via C-Link were executed transactions totaling 230,000 euro. Almost all of them were between Croatia and Macedonia. No major transactions actually occurring in Bulgaria as a result of order flow coming from abroad. In the meantime, EBRD has launched their previously announced company research project that will aim at sponsoring listed companies' research. The target companies slightly differ from the SE Link participating countries. For instance, Romania will also be included, although Romania is not part of SE Link at the moment. That will be a 2-year project, and it will cover 8 companies from each market. Only one consultant will be selected for all markets. However, participating research companies can apply as a consortium together with their peers from the remaining countries. The project's terms of reference are completed, but still not approved by the management of EBRD. But we expect that to happen in the next couple of weeks. And a few other things. The first of them being the approved publication arrangement that the Bulgarian Stock Exchange has applied for in March 2018. Actually, we received positive response from our regulator last week. Our authorization was granted on October 25th. Our trade reporting and publication interfaces are still in development, but they will be completed in a couple of weeks' time. We plan to launch the service in the second half of November together with our new website. Actually, the approved publication arrangement is integrated in the new website. We will start with a web interface, but soon after that, we will offer an automated web service as a second step, as an alternative way to report OTC transactions. And the last focus area is basically our trading technology. As we previously announced, Xetra Classic, the existing trading platform at Bulgarian Stock Exchange, will be discontinued in June 2019. That is why we search for a replacement with similar functionality in order to minimize the impact on our investment firms and banks. Over the course of the past few months, we received indicative offers from 3 different software vendors based on the analysis that we carried out. we selected Xetra T7, that's the next generation platform of Deutsche Börse, as a platform to be implemented next year. We've already started with the implementation, and we will announce the migration date once we sign all the agreements with the platform provider. We'll keep updated everyone involved in that project, and starting from February next year, the simulation environment will be open, so each and every member of the Bulgarian Stock Exchange will be able to test and to test the amendments that they need to make in their software systems, as well as get familiar with the functionalities of the trading platform. Basically, that's from my side. These are the things that we've been working on, and that will be our focus will be in the next at least half a year. If you have any questions, I'll be very happy to take them. If not, please feel free to contact us via email. We'll be happy to provide you with whatever information you may request.
Yes, thank you, Ivan. Let's look whether we have any questions by the attendees. There are no questions yet. Well, we hope that this presentation was useful for you, and we are waiting for your questions. You can ask the questions by email, and we'll be more than glad to answer. See you at the next earnings call of BSE Sofia. Have a great day, everyone.